Welcome to testpassport.com. In this video, I will share real AZ-200 questions and answers with you. Microsoft AZ-200 exam topics. Select the appropriate cloud technology solution 15 to 20%. Develop for cloud storage 30 to 35%. Create platform as a service PaaS solutions 35 to 40%. Secure cloud solutions 15 to 20%. 1. You develop software solutions for a media services company. You plan to analyze a collection of video files by using Azure Video Indexer. You need to only generate audio transcripts from the files, as quickly as possible, without incurring extra costs. To which value should you set the Azure Video Indexer StreamMG preset option? A. Default. B. Single bitrate. C. No streaming. D. Adaptive bitrate. Answer, C. 2. You are configuring Azure Redis Cache for a production web application. The web application and Azure Redis Cache must be able to withstand a catastrophic configuration changes. You create a storage account to persist cache data if needed. You need to implement a solution. What should you do? A. Run the set Azure Redis Cache Azure PowerShell command with the size and SKU parameters and specify a connection string to the storage account. B. In the Azure portal, enable Redis Database (RDB) persistence and configure persistence settings to save cache data to the storage account. C. In the Azure portal, enable Append-Only File (AOF) persistence and configure persistence settings to save cache data to the storage account. C. Run Reset Azure Redis Cache Azure PowerShell command with the sharded parameter and specify a connection string to the storage account. Answer, C. 3. You manage a web application that is hosted in multiple Azure regions. The application uses Azure Append blobs to store audit logs. Each hosted instance of the application maintains its own audit logs. You have a central append blob that serves as a master record of all audit logs. The master audit log is updated on a schedule to include all local copies from each region. The local copies are then discarded. You need to append each of the local audit logs to the master audit log. Which method should you use? A. Start Azure Storage Blob Copy PowerShell command. B. Append block operation of the Azure Storage Services REST API. C. Copy blob operation of the Azure Storage Services REST API. D. AsCopy tool with the blob type append parameter. Answer, B. 4. You use Azure Table Storage to store customer information for an application. The data contains customer details and is partitioned by last name. You need to create a query that returns all customers with the last name Smith. Which code segment should you use? A. Table query, generate filter condition last name, query comparisons, equal, Smith. B. Table query, generate filter condition partition key, query comparisons, equal, Smith. C. Table generate filter condition partition key, equals, Smith. D. Table query generate filter condition last name equals Smith. Answer, D. 5. You develop a solution that uses an Azure SQL database to store user information for a mobile app. The app stores sensitive information about users. You need to hide sensitive information from developers that query the data for the mobile app. Which 3 items must you identify when configuring dynamic data masking? Each correct answer presents a part of the solution. A. Column. B. Table. C. Trigger. D. Schema. E. Index. Answer: ABID. 6. You are developing an internal website for employees to view sensitive data. The website uses Azure Active Directory (AAD) for authentication. You need to implement multi-factor authentication for the website. What should you do? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. A. In Azure AD, create a new conditional access policy. B. In Azure AD, enable application proxy. C. Configure the website to use Azure AD B2C. D. In Azure AD conditional access, enable the baseline policy. E. Upgrade to Azure AD Premium. Answer: C. E. 7. You develop an app that processes data packages that are less than 10 kilobytes. The solution processes and then deletes the data packages. Data must be processed by only one instance and must persist if the app is reset but not after it is processed. You need to select a storage technology for the solution while minimizing costs. Which data storage service should you use? A. Azure Table Storage. B. Azure Queue Storage. C. Azure Blob Storage. D. Azure Redis Cache E. Azure SQL Database. Answer: C. 8. You need to provision and deploy the order workflow. Which three components should you include? A. Workflow definition. B. Connections. C. Resources. D. Functions. E. On-premises data gateway. Answer: C, D, E. 9. You need to access user claims in the e-commerce web app. What should you do first? A. Update the e-commerce web app to read the HTTP request header values. B. Assign the Contributor RBAC role to the e-commerce web app by using the Resource Manager Create Role Assignment API. C. Write custom code to make a Microsoft Graph API call from the e-commerce web app. D. Using the Azure CU enable cross-origin resource sharing (CORS) from the e-commerce checkout API to the e-commerce web app. Answer: C. 10. You need to troubleshoot the order workflow. What should you do? A. Review the run history. B. Review the trigger history. C. Review the API connections. D. Review the activity log. Answer: B. D.